Have you ever been dealing with a customer support issue or purchased a new program and thought, gosh, if I could just get somebody on the phone for 15 minutes, it would solve all my problems and I would be using this product or I would have clarity about this situation? Well, I think a lot of people feel that way, which is why I use the secret tactic with a lot of my clients. We use something that I call member success calls throughout their program to get members the support that they need and get them activated. So today I'm going to share with you 3 ways for you to leverage these member success calls in your business and how you can get started right away. So picture this. You've just purchased a brand new high-end tech gadget from a local store. A couple days later, you get a phone call. Now, if you're anything like me, that phone call is going directly to voicemail that you're probably not going to check. But they follow up with a text message letting you know it's Sally from the store where you purchased that tech gadget, and she wants to hop on the call with you to make sure and walk you through how to use this new gadget that you've got so that you can get the most out of it. Even if you don't take advantage of the call, you're going to feel supported. In fact, you're going to feel like they've gone above and beyond to make sure that you get the most out of your purchase. And chances are, if anybody asks about purchasing that gadget, you're going to tell them where to get it and the kind of support that is offered through the store where you purchased it, right? So, what if you could offer a similar experience for your members and customers? I have a little secret that I use with my clients called member success calls. And we use these in various ways inside of their programs. But today I want to share with you 3 ways that you can use a member success call to increase your retention and reduce refunds. So let's talk about what a member success call is. A member success call is a short 15-minute call with you, or more likely somebody on your team, that they have with one of your members or customers. Now, this isn't a coaching call, it is not a consulting call, it's simply about guidance. So, almost anybody on your team can have one of these calls with a member as long as they're able to hold a good conversation via phone or via something like Zoom. There's a few outcomes that we want from a member success call, and it's similar to what I want to see from an onboarding experience, so it may sound familiar to you. But the first outcome that we want is for them to rebuild their belief in themselves. So, a lot of times members hop on these calls because they're confused or overwhelmed, or maybe they're doubting themselves. And if they're doubting themselves, we want to take a moment in these calls to help rebuild their belief in themselves and that this is possible for them. Oftentimes, that's the one thing that's holding somebody back. The second outcome that I want to get from a member success call is to rebuild their belief in the program. Oftentimes, people start to doubt the program because they haven't been taking advantage of it, or maybe they're just confused and overwhelmed and they're not quite sure what to do next. So, we want to rebuild their belief in the program by reminding them of the path that they're on and the assets and resources that they have available to them. And then third, we want to get them clarity on their best next step. Okay, so rebuild their belief in themselves, rebuild their belief in the program, and then give them clarity on their best next step. What we're trying to do here is really eliminate any confusion about how to use the program and help overcome any objections that they're facing. So, how can we use these calls? Well, 3 ways that you can start using them today. The first one is with your onboarding. Onboarding is a great time to welcome your new members in with a call. You can offer a 15-minute call that helps activate members into the most important activities inside of your program. Hopefully, you've been tracking what successful members do, and you know that maybe most successful members complete orientation, go through your core curriculum, maybe join an accountability group or your Facebook community, whatever those core elements are. So you can have a member success call for new members during your onboarding process that not only helps answer questions for members that they may have as they're trying to navigate this new members area or really understand the value and benefits of the program that you've sold them, but also gives them clarity on the things they need to focus on right now to gain the most momentum. It's all about activating your members into your program, helping them overcome that initial buyer's remorse and getting them connected early on. This call also gives you an amazing opportunity to overcome any early objections that your customer may be facing. So that's why you would leverage these calls during your onboarding. A second way to leverage these calls is during your reactivation process. Now, if you don't have a reactivation process in place, that's totally okay. And you may be saying, Shana, I don't even know what a reactivation process is. Basically, a reactivation process is a way of identifying members that are no longer active in your program or maybe have gotten a bit behind. So maybe this is somebody who's in your course but is a couple modules behind. Maybe it's somebody in your membership who has never logged in or hasn't completed orientation or maybe joined your Facebook group yet. But you can identify something simple like members that haven't completed orientation within the first month of being a member of your program, or maybe somebody that hasn't logged in for 2 months, or maybe somebody that's a couple modules behind on your course. And you can reach out to them offering support in the form of this 15-minute call. This is a way to get them on a call to get them to take quick action. Again, we're helping them create forward progress and forward momentum and giving them a deadline to do it because they have a set date and time that they're focused on your program on that 15-minute call. What we're going to do on this call is to make sure to remove any confusion that they may have about the program, how to access the resources. We're going to overcome any lurking objections that may be leading to a future refund or a cancellation. We're going to help tackle any doubts that they may have about themselves and about what's possible for them. And we're also going to point them to the best resource that's for them. So just giving them one quick step that they can do, maybe even on that 15-minute call to get going. Now, I really love it when we give them an action step and then we actually follow up a few days later to make sure that they've achieved that action step. That's a great way to get members and people inside of your course reactivated or moving forward in your program. The third way that you can leverage member success calls is if somebody requests to cancel or requests a refund. This is a great opportunity for you to ask the question of how we could support you better. Now, you're going to take that learning and you're going to go back and maybe make some improvements in your program after you look for some patterns and themes that are coming up. But why not offer them that support right then and there? Chances are, if they're requesting a refund, they still have access to your program. Then you haven't granted a refund yet. And so you may have an opportunity to drive them back to a certain module or lesson in your program that's perfect for overcoming the challenge that they're facing. Maybe they've requested to cancel, and although you are required to process that cancellation right away, you still have an opportunity to potentially resell the right person back into the program. Oftentimes people are canceling because they're overwhelmed, they're confused, or they're discouraged. And if we can get them on the phone and we can hear why they're overwhelmed, we have the opportunity to help, clear out the mud from their eyes and help them see the best next step for them. And to know that they don't need to focus on all the other things. They just need to do one thing to make progress. If they're feeling confused, maybe it's because of a tech hurdle. They don't really understand a members area or a Facebook group. And you can take just 5 minutes to show them how to use it and give them that clarity. Or maybe they're discouraged. They see all of these people having success and getting wins, and they feel like they're not making progress. And you get to share with them that they're perfectly normal, that the pace that there is on is the pace that most people take, and that their journey is their journey. If you have the opportunity to have that conversation, you're way more likely to save the right person from canceling and resell them back into your membership program. And ultimately, for the person that's no longer a fit for your program or that truly needs a refund or truly needs to be out of your course or whatever it might be, it's a great way to end things, right? I spoke about this in a previous episode, but we want to make sure to use that cancellation process to not only resell the right people, but to make sure that those that it's time for them to leave, that they leave with a positive experience, because that is our brand, our member experience. And the cancellation process or refund process is often going to be the thing that they remember the most. So this member success call gives them the opportunity to leave well if they are leaving. Okay, so 3 ways that you can leverage a member success call in your program. The first is for onboarding, really making sure that you help people get started on the right foot, take quick action, and remove any lingering objections or confusion or doubt that's popping up that's creating buyer's remorse. The second way is by reactivating members that have fallen off the wagon. Again, this is kind of like just a re-onboarding, but you're giving people their best next step. You're helping overcome any doubt that snuck up along the way and creating clarity for them. And then third is for cancellations and refunds. It gives you an opportunity to resell the right people back into your program, or to send off the wrong people or the people who just aren't a fit for your program anymore, to send them off well. Okay, so you may be saying, Shana, I don't have time for these calls, which is often one of the first objections that my clients give me. And I am going to tell you the same thing I tell them. you're really not going to have that many calls. The truth is that when we offer these 15-minute calls, very, very few people will take us up on them. Now, does that mean we shouldn't be offering them? No, because just knowing that they are there helps change the brand perception and their perception of support, right? We offer the calls because the perception is that we are offering more support, right? We're going above and beyond, and they know that it's there if they need it in the future. But for the few people that do take it, it ends up being a great opportunity for them and a great opportunity for you to build connection to and learn from your members. So chances are you really won't have many calls, and it's not going to take a lot of time, especially when they're in these short 15-minute increments. But what if you did max out a team member's time with these calls? What if you were able to have 15-minute phone calls with members and customers all day long? And what if that helped reactivate 30% of your members? What if that helped your members go from staying an average of 10 months to an average of maybe 18 months? How would that impact your lifetime customer value? How would that impact the profitability of your business? What would it be worth to you to keep these members for longer? Chances are it would be worth adding another part-time or full-time team member just to take these calls if your members wanted them. So I really want you to think about that before you rule out doing these calls. I want you to think about what the potential return on investment is of this team member's time. And finally, I just want you to test it. Start with a small group. Let's say people that haven't logged into your site for the last 60 days and see what happens. Reach out to them, letting them know that you've noticed they haven't been as active in the program and that you want to offer them support to help answer any questions they may have or to help them discover their best next step. Send them a link to your Calendly or your Acuity scheduler where they can schedule a 15-minute call with somebody on your team and see what happens. I always want to give us the opportunity to test something like this and then measure the results to see if it's working before I roll it out. So start with a small group, a small segment of those that you want to support, meaning those that are probably in the inactive category. Get them an invite to show up on one of these calls and then begin tracking and measuring the results. Now, once you get into a rhythm of doing these, I can almost guarantee you that you're going to be looking for reasons to offer these calls to your members. So keep in mind, member success calls, they are not coaching calls, they are not consulting calls, they're opportunity to guide your members and to resell them on their beliefs in themselves in the program, giving them their best next step that helps them take action. All right, I hope this was helpful for you. If you decide to do one of these calls, let me know.